What's up YouTube community, BERNTH here, welcome back to another video lesson. This video serves as a little bonus episode. We'll be back to the practical examples, music theory concepts and exercises this weekend. As always, the new weekly in-depth lesson will be online this Saturday. But today I'd like to take a bit of extra time to talk about my little tricks and secrets for making better progress and much faster progress on the guitar. The main reason why I want to talk about this today is because I'm currently teaching around 1000 students in my online course 10 Steps to Modern Shredding and on my shred guitar community on Patreon combined. And I'm in direct contact with a lot of my students via email to talk about their specific guitar frustrations or to give some practice plan advice or feedback on recorded audio or video material. And one of the main frustrations that I hear a lot is something like, I'm stuck in a rut at the moment, I don't make any progress practicing guitar, I'm playing the same songs, riffs, licks or scales for many years now and I feel like I'm going nowhere. I think that we can all relate to these problems and I've been there before. This is actually a quite natural thing that happens if we take a quick look at the typical guitar progress graph. When we start out learning guitar, we pretty much learn something completely new every day. You might start out with your first chord on day 1 and then you might learn a second chord on day 2 already. Then in the first upcoming weeks and months you might learn your first pentatonic shapes as a small introduction into guitar solos. You might learn your first easy power chord riffs or fragments of songs that you really like, so the progress curve is going up drastically in that time. I'm sure that you remember how exciting all of that was, and if you are right here at the moment, please remember to enjoy every single step at the beginning. But it's inevitable over the years that at some point the curve will start flattening. When you've been playing and practicing for many years, you might hit a wall at some point with specific techniques like alternate picking, sweep picking or developing speed in general. As you might already know, it's sadly not possible to increase the metronome tempo by 1 or 2 beats per minute every day and then finally you reach your desired tempo in a couple of months with the perfect and super clean technique that you've been striving for. So if you're at this exact point now, feeling like you haven't made any progress in the last couple of months or even years, and you're very frustrated with certain music theory aspects or techniques that you just can't master, here's what I recommend you to do. If you turn a daily or 5-day per week practice plan into an effective habit in your daily routine, you will start making significant progress again. I know that I'm probably not the first guy talking to you about practice plans and their effectiveness, but there are a lot of mistakes that are made with the topic of practice plans and I want you to avoid them. Let's talk about part number 1, a practice plan that is much too long and too exhausting. Most of my students that start with my online courses or enroll in the shred guitar community over at Patreon are very motivated to make a change in the beginning. And of course that is a great thing and you absolutely need all that motivation in the beginning to get things started. But a huge mistake in my opinion is coming up with a 3 or 4 hour practice plan in the beginning. You might be able to motivate yourself to do that for a couple of days or even weeks, but after that it will become very difficult to find the time and motivation to do this every single day. You will start to do it 5 days a week, then there's something happening, so you do it 4 times a week, then it drops to 3 times a week and so on. And at one point you will be frustrated with your progress and you will stop working with practice plans altogether. What will absolutely help you the most is finding a routine that you can do every single day. For me personally, that routine is 1 hour long and divided into 4 different blocks of 15 minutes. But that also doesn't mean, of course, that I'm just playing guitar for 1 hour every single day. I also have to record a lot of takes for the YouTube and Instagram lessons, for the online courses. I'm constantly booked for live gigs, so I have to rehearse with different bands. I'm booked for studio jobs, so I have to record at home and in the studio and so on. But that all doesn't count as practice time to me. Practicing means to me being absolutely focused on an exercise or theory concept that you want to master. So please learn to effectively distinguish between practicing time and playing time. I make sure to switch up those 4 different 15-minute blocks every day to keep it interesting, and I add new exercises and theory concepts every week. If you watch my Instagram stories, you will have seen that this is the first thing I do every day. So I get up at 5 every day, set everything up, get some breakfast and start practicing. I choose to practice in the morning because I have the most amount of energy at this point of the day and also nobody's calling or texting me at 5 AM. But of course it also works in the evening after work whenever you have time to fit it in. You can also start out smaller with 30 minutes every day, so 2 15-minute blocks, since it's easy to increase your practice time once you've found your rhythm and your routine. The most important thing is just getting started and doing it every day or at least 5 days a week. When you work on a super tight and planned out schedule like that, the compound effect will start working for you. That essentially means that all of those 1-hour sessions will add up over the long run. And if you're really consistent and work with the right exercises every day, your guitar progress graph will start to look like the one you started out with in the beginning again. And of course, my goal with this channel and with all my online courses is providing you with those exact exercises. But since we never talked about the actual mindset behind all of that, I felt the need to record this particular video. One last thing I want you to do is making sure that this becomes a daily habit for you. Habits that you already have are getting up in the morning after the alarm sounds, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, and so on. You should see your practice routine exactly like that, not just as a random event that might occur on some time during the day. It should have the same results, start and end point every single day. One super powerful trick of turning this into an actual habit is tracking this particular habit, at least in the first couple of weeks. What I mean by that is buying a journal and writing down when you start, when you stop, and what you worked on this day. For my example, I write down the 4 15-minute blocks that I worked on. This is also very helpful at the end of every month because you can go back and review what you worked on, what you might have left out, and what you need to work on more in the future. So even if that seems like over-organizing and very tedious to you, make sure to do that at least for the first couple of weeks. It will really help you with cementing that practice routine in your daily life and with turning it into an actual habit. This is also a great process for getting rid of bad habits or starting with good habits that have nothing to do with the guitar, of course. And if you want to dive deeper into this mindset, I recommend reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And if you feel like you don't really see the bigger picture of this or the compound effect we talked about in the beginning, make sure to check out the book actually called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. All of the mindset tricks and scientific examples from these books can be directly translated to guitar playing. So I really enjoy reading that stuff because I'm constantly searching for ways to get better, because obviously I'm far from perfect. I hope that this little insight into my mindset concerning practice routines helped you a little bit. I also uploaded the practice sessions that I was tracking over the last couple of weeks for all members on Patreon. There you can see exactly what I'm working on, and of course I also help all my members with constructing their individual practice plans to get the best results. Thanks a lot for watching this bonus episode. I'll be back with another regular guitar lesson this weekend. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video or a comment in case you have any questions. I'd really love to hear what you guys think about all of that. And I will see you very soon. Hope you have fun practicing. Until then, all the best.